Give me a minute. Yeah. Hello, everyone. I'm Ria. I'm the host for today. I welcome you all in the Premier Technology and Innovation Confluence 2024, organized by the Business Fame magazine, supporting partner Scribely, associate partner Metapreneur, IT service partner Improtech Vision, and PR partner Business Standards. Welcome you all for today's Confluence. Uh, I'm so sure that we are going to learn so much from the experts in today's confluence, which is all about navigating the next era of cloud computing, innovations, and industry skills. Today, we have three experts with us, which are from different backgrounds. Let me introduce them. We have Manikandan sir, who is into supply chain architect. We have Jayanna, who is senior lead software engineer. We have Arun Kumar sir, who is architect software testing. Before we go ahead, I would like to thank the Business Fame magazine. The Business Fame magazine is a business to business magazine who give platform for business owners, entrepreneurs, professionals to be unique in the market. They have different services, like they have their magazines and they also help in digital media. Thank you so much, Business Fame magazine, for giving me an opportunity to host today's conference.
Thanks, Ria.
Thank you. Let's start by shooting the questions to our experts. My first question is for Manikandan sir. Sir, am I pronouncing your name correct?
Yeah, you're right,
Yeah,
Manikandan. Yeah, you're right.
yeah. Hi, sir. So my
Right.
first question for you today is, what are the key trends driving the future of cloud computing?
Okay, in terms of cloud computing, right, like we heard about this word continuously in the past few years, that too particularly after the pandemic, right? Everything was changed, every organization going towards digital trends, right? Like they're trying to shifting their base to digital. I mean, the cloud computing is one of the key part of those transformations, like business transformations and key innovations. And they talked about AI integrations, edge computing, all those stuffs, right? So when it say the trends, right, there's several factors which has the how the cloud computing feature going to be and what going to be the latest trends. A few examples multi-cloud and hybrid cloud solutions, like how that multi-cloud and hybrid cloud solutions going to happen based on the diverse cloud environment, right? Like just not only I mean, example Azure clouds, AWS clouds. I mean, they are the great players, right? Like not only that, there are several other cloud partners. They're going with this diverse cloud environment, and also probability and probability, right? What kind of probability they have to transfer the data from on the day-to-day basis. Those things plays a huge role. The next would be edge computing and a distributed cloud, right? Like you should have a distributed cloud mechanism, right? Instead of an on-premises, they are planning to have a distributed cloud models. They have used a lot of cloud models to handle the data, day-to-day activities. And then AI with machine learning integration. This is one of the key and interesting area to just read about the data trends, day-to-day data trends, any industry, right? Like let's let to my industry, supply chain industry. We used to get the key trends on forecasting techniques based on the artificial intelligence data feed in real-time scenario on the cloud computing, right? So we are integrating all the system together to get a better results for a planning, right? So that's one of the key things, key trends, I would say. And then the next one is FASs. What is the FASs? Function as service. We will see service, different service models, SaaS models, function as service, and serverless models. Like nowadays, companies, they don't want to maintain the server on their own. Like they want to just migrate everything in cloud form, right? Like that's other trend which is happening right now on the cloud computing. The other one I would say, like enhanced cloud security with a zero trust architecture, right? What does mean the zero trust architecture? I mean, you should have a cloud native security solution to make sure the gateway which you're operating the data will be trusted, right? it's not have impacted with any ransomware or other cyber threat attacks, right? So that's more important one. Okay. The other one I would say is like a cloud-based data lakes and warehouses, like where we so most of the today customers they use like this data lakes and snowflakes tool to handle their um, data extracts from various sources, like it could be several sources, like they use multiple ETL tools to do the data extraction and transformations, right? So all are in the cloud based, like how they're going to handle these data lakes and warehouse in an unified data management way, and also how could the real-time analytics to get a report generated. Okay, those also an, important trends in the form of cloud computing. And there's something a trendy word called green cloud and sustainable computing, right? What is this green cloud and sustainable computing? How could, like, see, when you establish a big cloud servers or like a big data centers, how energy efficient we are using it, because all these data centers and cloud things will consume more energy in terms of powers, right? Like how we going to achieve that in an energy efficient way, in a carbon neutral way, right? Like you will seen many conferences happening uh, all over the world, how we'll utilize the carbons, right? Like in terms of energy consumption, improving the efficiency of the data centers, those things, like those plays a key trends in cloud computing. The next one I would say is like quantum computing on the cloud, right? Like and then industry specific cloud solution, like every industry has its own cloud solutions, like from supply chain or an core manufacturing or in a retail industry or an FMG industry. Every industry across have their own needs for the cloud, right? The other one is like the latest trends on technology, like growth with the 5G and its the IoT integration, right? Internet of Thing, and we have a lot of other new technologies comes into picture to lower the latency and improve the efficiency. I would say these are a few high impact trends uh, which fueling the growth of cloud computing.
Thank you so much, sir. That was quite insightful and intriguing for me to know. My next question is for Jayanna, sir. Sir, can you please throw some light on how businesses ensure, how businesses should focus on data security in hybrid cloud environment?
Yep. First of all, thank you very much for connecting all our expertise here, and thank you, Manikam, for providing the modern computing the focus in the coming days. Thank you very much for it. Yeah, the data security also one of the main challenging every organizations are facing. And as in the hybrid environment, as you mentioned, see the way the data handles stored tools and technology and adopted both in on-prem and cloud will be different. So there is a need for a business to get the comprehensive approach to address the unique challenges of both cloud storage as well as the on-prem systems. See, one needs that if I tell you by step, right? First thing we have to do is like, understand and classify the data sensitivity. Okay, what is the data produced? What kind of data is there in the produced in that system? How that data should be, organized or handled, or who should access that data? What what is the regularities of each country will have different regulations for each kind of data, like a person PHI or HIPAA or any data, right? So how to based on that country specific, how we should handle that data, right? So those are the classification we have to make it and work with security managers to come with security policies, right? Then we should come with some strong identity and access management, IAM, what we call, right? IAM. So there, so we see because of the hybrid nature, the complexity again will be differ. So we need to come with some unique, uniform identity, IAM methods for both cloud and on-prem, like having a multi-factor authentication or role-based access, or having the centralized identity login like SSOs. So that way we can ensure that the data is accessed only by the authorized people, right? And next comes is like protecting the data or encrypting the data end to end, right from the data produced when during the transit and during the rest. How do you protect the data is another challenge, right? So when we work with the, as in the earlier mentioned, when we work with security managers, we need to define the policies. We need to define the how frequently, how we have to maintain our data encryption keys, how we have to apply it, so that in case by chance, even if a user get access to the data, they will not be able to decipher the data, right? That's where the encryption power comes into picture. So we need to ensure that the data is encrypted on transit also, and also and when the data is stored, which is we call sometime as rest, right? So then next comes is the security policies, right? As with the security manager, we need to define the policies, we have to review them, we have to audit them, right? And also we have to maintain the compliance standard. So there are so many, we have to automate ourselves, or there are compliance tools available where we need to ensure that each and every data set is adopted the security policies defined in the organization, and generate the compliance report. Wherever the compliance is missing, we need to enforce them, so that all the data are also protected and secured, and also followed the every country's regulatory regulatories, right? And next comes is, okay, now that because of the huge growing data, so many people are accessing data. How do you control, how do you manage, how do you know who is accessing, from where accessing, how much data they're accessing, right? That comes as monitoring the log activities, like adopting a API gateway kind of thing, so that we should not allow the access to data locally. We should allow access through the API gateway, so that you can have checks and protection, everything, so that who is accessing, which application is accessing, from which region, which country, when, how much data, all that you will be able to generate, and whenever there is a suspicious, you will be able to take the actions, right? So that is one of the also key important. And also the next comes is when we adopt the securities, like be it SSL or TSL or any kind of security, as as the companies protocols, they release a new securities. Okay, see new security protocol. We also, as an industry, we need to adopt them, test it, and so that we can have a better protection both in the cloud as well as in the on-prem. That way, we'll have a complete security policy solution in place for hybrid environment.
Thank you so much, sir. That was inspiring. My next question is for Arun, sir. Sir, can you help us understand what are the challenges in adopting cloud native applications?
Sure. So first of all, thank you, Business Prime team, for giving me this opportunity to talk and with other industrial experts. Let me get back to the question. So the question is challenges in adopting cloud native, right? So cloud native applications, even though it has significant advantages, right, such as scalability, flexibility, faster time to market, everything is there. But we do have certain challenges. Okay, so especially from the organization perspective, transition to cloud native architecture definitely have a lot of challenges. They will have a cultural shift. One is actually a kind of cultural shift. Second one will be like a technical complexity and operational hurdles, right, which come along with cloud native approaches. Let me go in detail. One will be skill and talent gaps, right? Lack of expertise. Cloud native technologies like microservices, they need people who are actually skilled on those areas, and many organizations face a shortage of developers or IT staffs which are expertise in design, implement, and maintain. Else, they need to actually train the existing resources and have them certified and then work it, or they'll have to look for outside expertise people, right? And the second one will be complexity of cloud native architectures, right? Microservice complexity. Cloud native application often break down functionality into multiple smaller services, right? So those kind of becoming complex and particularly larger system, we do have actually challenges, right? And the next will be security concerns, like data protection. Ensuring data privacy and regulatory compliance, right, in cloud native systems can be challenging. Implementing encryption, access control, and audit mechanism and all. So that is going to be another challenge from organization perspective. The next one will be infrastructure and deployment challenges, right? Like cost management. Well, cloud native application can be cost effective by using resources dynamically, the unpredictable nature of the cloud building models, right, especially with services like Kubernetes or serverless architecture, can result in cost overruns. Okay, so proper monitoring and cost forecasting and optimization strategies definitely needs to be in place to overcome those kind of challenges, right? And I would say the next one will be like migration from legacy system, right? Many organizations prefer an incremental approach on those migration from legacy system, which can be like kind of a little significant challenge, especially from a kind of a cultural and organization resistance, right? Like shifting from the traditional legacy system, moving into a kind of a cloud native application. Definitely, it is like a fundamental shift, especially within the mindset and culture of that existing resources. So that is something we might have to uplift and ensure that that challenge is also being addressed. So that we can actually have a seamless implementation of these kind of cloud native application into the organization. So I would say these are the, I would say, high, important challenges which organization will have to face like while adopting cloud native applications.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much, sir, for talking about the challenges. Uh, can you also, along with challenges, can you also help us understand the regulatory changes affecting cloud computing strategies?
Sure. Yeah. So regulatory changes has a significant impact on cloud computing strategies. Okay, like how organizations manage data, ensure privacy, and operate within the legal framework. So that is something definitely need to be taken care, and especially other government and industry bodies are kind of involved in it, right? So let's see, like on a very high level, like how regulatory changes can affect and cloud computing strategies, right? So the first one, maybe we can talk about data sovereignty and data residency, right? So the challenge will be like regulation, like GDPR or European Union and data residency laws, right, in various countries like Russia, China, or India, require certain types of data to be stored or processed within a specific geographical regions. Especially when we work in US as well, like there are certain government business data which needs to be specifically stored in specific geographical region. Even we cannot take it outside the geographical border. So those kind of things can have an impact on cloud strategy, right? Like multi-region deployment. Organizations are increasingly using multi-cloud or hybrid cloud architecture to ensure, basically, to comply with local data sovereignty law. So that is one thing. And cloud providers role, right? Cloud providers like AWS or Google Cloud or Azure, right, are responding by expanding their infrastructure in different regions, basically providing specific solution for data residency. So those are kind of like a solution which we can actually address those challenges. The second challenge I would say is that data privacy and security, right? So many regulatory frameworks like GPDR or CCPA require organizations to adopt specific measures for protecting data privacy and security. So this include implementing appropriate safeguard, encryption, access control, and audit mechanism. So these, I mean, can have an impact on cloud strategy, especially on the encryption and access control. The cloud providers are enhancing their features to meet the compliance standards, right? So that is one thing. And maybe the next one will be like security certifications and audits and all. Organization must select cloud providers with a certain necessary certification. They'll have to identify those people who are really having a proper certification and then actually need to involve on these activities. And I would say the third one will be like cross-border data transfer. Again, regulations like GDPR, right, in the European Union impose strict rules on transferring personal data outside the European Union, just like what I said about US as well, right? Certain government business data we are not supposed to take out of the geographical location. So again, impact on cloud strategy will be legal and contractual consideration. Organizations need to ensure their cloud service providers are using compliant mechanism for cross-border data transfer and basically avoid a cloud provider lock-in, right? Companies that need to comply with the data sovereignty law may be, I mean, relying on heavily on this single cloud provider or something. So that is something we need to take care of it. And I would say the last one will be like a governance, risk, and compliance. So cloud environment, especially when adopting a multi-cloud or hybrid cloud, right? Difficult to enforce consistent government risk management and compliance practices. For that, they will have an impact on cloud strategy, especially on the centralized governance tool to address like GRC challenges and all, right? The organizations need to adopt like centralized governance tools and platforms that can monitor the cloud infrastructure and enforce compliance policies and generate audit reports. So that is something, yeah, kind of like an organization will have to take care. And automated compliance checks also, they might have to take care, like cloud native solutions are increasingly incorporating compliance, right, as code and automated compliance. So that is something organization will have to take care. So I would say these are, I mean, especially like high level regulatory changes that will affect the cloud computing strategy. So that we need to ensure, like now when we come up with that cloud adoption, like now cloud computing strategies, when we try to frame it, these things will have to be considered and to be addressed. Thank you.
Thank, thank you so much, sir. My next question is for Jayanna, sir. Sir, can you please focus on what innovations in cloud computing are enhancing real-time data processing?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. See, the real-time processing is every organizer or organizations want to use them to get the real-time insights. There are to adopt cloud computing, into enhancing the real-time processing, right? So, there are something like, adopting edge computing, where the edge computing, whenever it happens, at where very closer to where the data sources are, producing the data, right? And like it can be from the on-prem, it can be from the external, wherever the data produced. So we have to have some computing, so that will ensure that the we can get the real-time insights, real-time any kind of detection we can do on real-time at the edge itself. So, and secondly, I would say like adopting serverless architecture. Serverless architecture is meaning like the most of the cloud environment, right? The cloud providers, they offer serverless architecture where you no need to maintain, our company and organization no need to maintain or patch the servers, right? And also because of the real time required sometimes a lot of computation, because when there's a sudden spike in the data, so we want to have dynamic auto scaling to handle the huge sudden spike in the data. That's so serverless architecture will not only just quickly scale up and handle the data sets. And apart from that, it will be cost effective, so that we can pay only, we can use only the compute as required and pay only for what we use it, right? So that way it can enable the real-time insights also faster, right? And the third thing is adopting streaming data streaming processes, like a lot of cloud providers like AWS offers Kinesis, AWS Kinesis, and the Google Cloud offers like data flow kind of. They offer so many streaming platforms where by using streaming services, we should be able to identify the anomalies, get the real-time insight what's happening with our application or our data set, right? And also like adopt and many cloud providers, they provide pre-trained data models where we'll be able to, it can be for the data security or compliances or issues or patterns detection or anything. By using the AI and machine learning models in the streaming processing engines, by integrating with them, so we'll be able to take the action very faster in a real time. So these are some of the techniques will help adopting real-time processing or enhancing real-time processing in the cloud computing. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. My next question is for Manikandan, sir. Sir, can you help us understand how is multi-cloud architecture transforming business operations?
Thank you, Jayan and Arun, for this insightful thought, right, on this cloud computing, the data policies, and all those stuff. Yeah. Come to the question, like the multi-cloud architecture transforming in the day-to-day business operations. Like, I mean, like in every business operation, like different companies have increased to use this cloud architecture, right? Like, uh, which eventually help them to get the flexibility, enhanced resilience, and efficiency in terms of like cost efficiency, and ability to innovate faster, right? They want to compete with their to compete with their partners, or like whoever want, they want to just do a big business, right? So there's some other factors like which drive those the multi-cloud transformations, like some of them are like enhanced flexibility and avoidance of vendor lock-in, right? Like how flexible you are to handle your new vendor lock-in, like how you are handling your customer, the flexibility given to the customer in terms of data transformations, in terms of freedom to choose the best tools, and how they are following the two A's. Like when you say two A's, adaptability and agility, right? Those are two key things in any transformations. Okay, how you adapt the things, right? Those are main thing. The second one, I would say, like improved resilience and business continuity. What is that improved resilience, business continuity means? Like how risk mitigation is handled, right? Like and then like how the data redundancy and the disaster recovery is planned. Any industry, right? Like when you plan for a cloud migrations or a data handling, we also should have a disaster recovery plan, right? Like in terms of anything happen to your place or a data center, like how your data going to be safely handled, like how it's going to be recovered. So you should have the complete plan on those things. Like so this cloud architecture, when you're designing your architecture, these should be highly taken into consideration. Okay, the third one, I would say, optimized cost management, like an efficient way, how cost efficient way we should manage the architecture. And then the dynamic workload management, like everybody is ready to offer the workforce, like how we going to choose the workforce, it could be how it needed, like it could be a 24/7 or 16/7, like whatever it could be, right? Like how dynamically we are managing the in terms of resource workload as well as the cloud servers workloads, right? Those also important one. The next one, I would say, access to best in class service and innovations, right? Like we always want to have some specialized features and combining them in a proper sequenced way, and also have some faster innovation cycles, right? For anything, right? Like any a product, or I would say any transaction, it has its own life cycle, right? Like how that life cycle's innovative way so that it consume less amount of data. That's more important. What's needed, what's not needed, that needs to be categorized properly, right? So that's one important thing. And the fifth one, I would say, like enhanced security and compliance. Like when you say enhanced security and compliance, like how better we are improving the data governance and how much layer of security we are providing for those data in those cloud computing. That's very important, right? Like at level of security, because I mean, everybody is going for a cloud, right? Like how the data is protected in the cloud. I mean, the security layer, like how much layered level of security we are providing for those things. That's more important. Okay, in terms of defining the architecture. The next one, I would say, the greater operational efficiency and scalability. Uh, I mean, like when you say like the operational efficiency, right? Like how much of load balancing we are doing in the clouding, and then like what kind of scalability across the regions, right? Like because every regions, I would say, like when Jayanna talking about like every industry, right? Like every country, they want to maintain their own data. Like best example is Europe. Europe want to have their own servers, own things. Like US, now even India also started this. Like you see, this should happen with the Mastercard and all those things, right? Like we started building a new card system, UPI, right? Visa, Mastercard, we got new UPI because we want to protect our data. So those things are happening now to just get a proper framework to get this success, right? The next one, I would say, like facilitating the edge and IoT integration, right? Like with the edge computing and IoT management, Internet of Things. Those are like key incubators to get it evolve around to get a proper structured framed cloud computing. Okay. The next one, I would say, fostering innovation with fail first approach. What is that approach, right? Like when you say fostering innovations, what kind of experimentation we are doing, what kind of flexibility we're giving into the architecture to shift to data, right? Like those important. And then how rapidly we are deploying the things with the new technology, because every every month or every day the new technologies comes into picture. How your existing architecture is adapting to the new technology. That's more important, right? Like we don't want to invest more every time. If company is going to be who a digital transformation or a cloud transformation, they don't want to do it every month or every quarter. They don't want to invest more, right? Like so how best we have to adapt this technology in an efficient, cost efficient way. That's more important, right? Like when you're designing architecture, you should always think about it. The next one, I would say, supporting digital transformations in the future ready infrastructures. What it means, right? Like we should have always a flexible and modular infrastructure, and also the infrastructure whatever we are presenting, it should always have a continuous improvements in terms of efficiency of data efficiency. That's more important. And the last one I would say was like enabling a better customer experience. That's more important, right? Like the customer feedbacks is more important in terms of like consistent service delivery. Any product, right? Like your customer satisfaction is more important. Like when you're defining an architecture and a cloud things, you're selling to someone, and their satisfaction is very important. And like how we're getting the data insights, or like how we're analytically we're dealing those data, it's gonna paid off, right? In quick short summary, like this all these transformations in business operations will provide a flexibility to the innovative solution, and reduce the risk, optimize the cost, improve the server resilience, okay, in all the evolving market. Thanks.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. That was interesting. My next question is for Arun, sir. Sir, can you help us understand how can businesses optimize costs in a cloud-first environment?
Yeah, yeah. So organization cost in cloud, right? First environment requires a holistic approach, right? That spans across technical, financial, and organization aspect. So by right sizing resources, leverage cost-effective storage options, promoting the financial operation culture, better control and monitoring on the cloud spending. So these are kind of like areas where we can actually ensure basically to optimize cost in cloud first environment. Okay, so let me go in detail. So one is actually, as I mentioned, like right sizing, right resources. So regularly analyze the performance and usage of cloud resources, right, and adjust based on the actual usage. That is going to be a key factor. And the second one will be like cost effective storage management, right? So cloud providers offer multiple storage classes based on their access frequency, like AWS S3 standard, Glacier, Azure Bob storage, those kind of things. We can actually choose and ensure like we have the right storage tier on it. And I would say the next one will be like reserved instances and saving plans, right? For the workloads with predictable usage opt. So basically we can actually look for that instance and see whether we any saving plans we can actually implement over there, right? And leveraging the serverless architecture. So considering adopting serverless services, right, from AWS Lambda, Azure Functions, Google Cloud Functions. For these, I mean, like we can see whether those serverless architecture can be leveraged, and like we can optimize the cost again using that. Again, monitoring and management is a key factor, as I mentioned earlier. So using cloud native cost management tools to track usage and spending in real time. We do have tools like AWS Cost Explorer, Azure Cost Management plus Billing, Google Cloud Billing. So these tools can be used and for the cost monitoring and ensuring we are spending and using the right amount. So these are actually a key factor which definitely can help us to I would say monitor and optimize the cost in the cloud first environment. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. That was inspiring. My next question is for Jayanna, sir. Sir, can you help us understand how does edge computing integrate with cloud solutions for better efficiency?
Yeah, sure, ma'am. And it's a great question. So now, before that, we have to understand what is cloud computing and what is edge computing. The edge computing, as I think we have covered, most of us, is the computing happens on the edge device or where very close to the where the data is produced, so that in a real time we can get the real time insights, right? That computing, what happens, we call it as edge computing. And cloud computing is the compute which happens on the streaming or on the data after it's stored, right? It can be for deep analytical purpose or for transformation or generating a report or predictive algorithms or anything, right? All that we call it as cloud computing. And cloud solution contains compromise both cloud computing and the data storage, right? So if you go with the step by step how we should integrate this cloud edge computing with the cloud solution is like the data is generated at the edge, okay, by it can be by any applications or any security devices or IoT devices or any kind of thing, and some kind of local processing happen. It can be masking the data or detecting a sensitive data, right? It can be filtering of the data, or it can be any kind of regulatory as per that. So any computing locally happens is that is the cloud edge computing. Then once that happens, the data is transmitted securely, encrypted in the pipeline, right? Once it transforms, so then there the further analytics can happen on the streaming data platforms, right? Where the data is identified for particular patterns, or to reduce the security threats, basically. Right. Then then comes once the data is we get into the cloud, then we store the data. When we store the data to optimally storage, we can adopt the multi-tier architecture. Multi-tier architecture means categorize the data into hot, warm, and cold. Right. Hot means the data which enterprise or the users access very frequently. Keep it on a hot, where the data is retrieval is super fast, so that the users have a better experience, or you can run your better algorithms, right? So some the data after certain months of data, it may not be used frequently, so we can move into cold. Or after certain months, the data is rarely used for any compliance or any just for comparison, very rarely accessed, so that can be moved to cold storage. That way, this as a cloud solution will have a better organized storage, and the processing happens both on the streaming and on the data stored is for any kind of analytics, machine training, the machine learning models or AI, any predictive algorithms. That compute comes whole as a cloud solution, right? So by that's how we'll be able to integrate the the cutting the edge computation with the cloud solution to by gaining better real-time insights, and also using appropriately all the cloud solution and edge computing. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. That was really inspiring to hear from the experts. I would like to give my vote of thanks to our speakers. I'm really grateful to host the event. Thank you, Business Fame Magazine. Thank you, experts, for joining us for the Navigating the Next Era of Cloud Computing Innovation and Industry Shifts Confluence. Let us give a round of applause for the Business Fame magazine. Thank you so much, Ajay, for organizing the event. Uh, yeah,
Thanks, Sakali.
lastly,
Yeah.
I would like to say that we look forward to hearing more from you in the industry. Thank you, Business Fame Magazine, for organizing the event, supporting partner Scribely, associate partner Metapreneur, IT service partner Improtech Vision, and PR partner Business Standards. Thank you so
Thanks a
much.
lot.
I am your host. And before we wrap up, let me please take a quick picture. 3, 2, 1. Smile, please. Thank you so much. I would just like to make one last announcement for the day, which is the Business Fame magazine and Scribely. We have tied up for a new project which is based on book publishing. We help experts, business owners, professionals to work on their book and be the book in the market within time period of 2 months. It is not AI written book, it is human written book, as no one can replace human talent. So we have already launched a book called Data Nexus by Vijay Panwar, and we are working on 2 more books, which would be in the market soon. In case now or in the near future, if you're looking to publish your own book, we are just a call away. Thank you so much again. I wish you all luck and success, and God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank
all.
you.
Thank you. Nice
Thank you
meeting you
all.
all.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Nice meeting you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
चला चला ओके कॉल करतो
बरं आहे तुला?
नाही घ्यायचे मेडिसिन घ्यायचे आता
ठीक आहे, जरा कॉल कर ना, मला फक्त त्या 2 गोष्टी बोलायच्या आहेत.
ठीक आहे